Good morning, children. I hope you have seen the previous video of chapter 5, Franchise and Representation, children, where I have explained, in fact, in the previous Google Meet, we have, been given the explanation of proportional representation, right, children? And their demerits and merits, and then the system of voting and everything we have understood, right? Now I'm coming to the methods of minority representation, basically, and everyone knows what is minority, right? And their representation in the various state bodies, in the various elective bodies, children, and the different methods which can be used for giving some representation to the minorities. In these methods we can give representation to the minorities. These methods are being devised by the election commission, right, children? So let's see what are those methods and many more things, right? So obviously this video is in continuation with the previous videos, children. So let's start now. So we have methods of minority representation, children. These are second ballot system, cumulative vote system, limited vote system, communal electorate, reservation of seats, and nomination system. So now let's see how second ballot system gives the representation to the minority, right, children? So see what happened now. In this method, each voter gets a single vote. There are created single member constituency, and a candidate can win an election only when he gets at least 51%, a clear and absolute majority of vote. In case in an election no candidate gets 1% votes, the candidate with the lowest number of votes is declared defeated. Voting is held for a second time involving the remaining candidate. In case no candidate again gets 51% vote, again the candidate with the lowest number of vote is declared defeated, and repolling involving the remaining candidate is done. The process is repeated till a candidate is in a position to get 51% vote. Sometime after the first voting, when no candidate gets 51% vote, all candidates except the first two candidates gets eliminated. A second ballot is held involving first two candidates, and whoever gets 51% votes become the winner and gets the seat. The principle of victory only through a real majority, that 51%, ensures the role of minority in the election of representatives of the people. Hence, it is deemed as a method of minority representation. Now children, we are coming to the next method, that is cumulative vote system. Now what is this? How with this method, how we are going to represent the minorities? We can give representation, children. Let's see now. Under this method of minority representation, multi-member constituency are created. Each voter is given as many votes as in the number of representatives which are to be elected, and each voter has the freedom either to give all his vote to any one candidate or to distribute his votes, right, among as many candidates as he wishes. For example, if from a constituency 4 representatives are to be elected, each voter gets 4 votes. Each voter can give all his 4 votes either to one candidate or 2 or 3 or 4 candidates of his choice. Now the voters belonging to a minority community can get their candidate elected by accumulating all their votes behind their candidates. In this way, it is regarded as a method of minority representation, children. Now the third method, limited vote system. Now let's see now how this method gives a representation to the minority, children. Now under this method of minority representation, multi-member constituency are created. Each voter is given several votes, but decidedly 1 or 2 votes less than the number of representatives to be elected. For example, if 4 representatives are to be elected from one constituency, each voter is given 2 or 3 votes. Now the majority community can get at the maximum 2 or 3 seats because each voter can exercise only 2 or 3 votes. The remaining seats naturally go to the minorities. Fourth, children, communal electorate system. Now let's see now. Under this system, the electorate is divided community wise, and each group of electorate gets the right to elect a fixed number of representatives. In this way, each community, big or small, gets a representation. However, this is an unhealthy and harmful method. It destroys the social unity of the people by treating them as separate community. Communal electorate were introduced in India by the British government in 1909. Remember, children, we did a communal electorate in Morley Minto reform, children, where the Muslims candidate may vote for Muslims and Hindu candidates may vote for Hindus. These were introduced as a part of British policy of divide and rule. By introducing this evil system, the Britishers laid down the foundation for the partition of India on communal line. In 1947, Pakistan was created out of India. Naturally, after independence, India scrapped the system of communal electorate and replaced it by a system of single unified joint electorate. Now, anyone can vote irrespective of caste, color, and creed, right to his or her representative, consisting of all the adult Indian, irrespective of their caste, religions, and culture. Now, fifth, reservation of seats. Under this system, some seats are reserved for the minorities in the sense that only person belonging to minority can contest election from the reserved seats, that constituency. However, all the voters of each reserved constituency together participate in the polling as one single electorate. It ensures the election of some representatives of the minorities but without dividing the electorate. Sixth one, children, nomination representatives of minority. Under this system, usually the head of a state is given the right to nominate some representatives of the minority community to the legislature of the state. As for example, the President of India has the right to nominate two representatives of the Anglo-Indian community, the Lok Sabha, in case he finds that this community has not got some representation in the House. So these are several well-established methods of minority representation, children. Right? Now let's come on to next slide. Now let's see the definition of political parties, children. What is the political parties and what are political party basically? A political party can be defined as a party of the people organized on the basis of an ideology which is always keen to get political power through peaceful and constitutional means and which remain continuously involved in the process of politics. Its final aim is to secure political power in the state and to use this power for making and implementing laws and policies for the entire society. In simple word and on the basis of these definitions, we can say that a political party is an organized large group of people based on ideological unity which considers itself separate from other parties by a specific program and which actively, peacefully and constitutionally participate in politics with the ultimate aim of securing political power in the state. Now let's see the features of political party, children. Now the first feature, a fairly large group of people. A political party is a fairly large and organized group of people. It is a whole which consists of several groups of people, young and old, rich and poor, landlord and workers, men and women, liberals and conservatives, leftists and rightists, all are members of a political party. Next, agreement on basic principle. A political party is a united group of people. The basis of unity of this group is shared political ideas, beliefs and attitude. Faith in a political ideology provides the basis for the unity of the member of a political party. Each party considered itself distinct from other because it has an agreed set of idea, principle and program which are different from other. Next, organization. A political party is essentially an organized association or group of people. There is a party constitution which defines the aims, objective, policy and organizational structure of the party. Without proper organization, no party can exist and participate in the struggle for power. Organization gives order and strength to the member of the party through which they can pool their resources and skills and help the party to achieve its goal, political power or at least political support from the masses. Next, faith in peaceful and constitutional means. A political party is a politically organized group of people which stand totally committed to secure the political power by peaceful and constitutional means. All political parties agree that peaceful and orderly political campaign and movements and finally the battle of ballot, that means election, is a means for resolving political conflict. That the conflict involving the attempts for securing the goal of political power. Next, promotion of national interest. A political party always endeavors to promote national interest as distinguished from selfish or communal interest. No doubt a political party has to secure material and power gain for its member, yet the exercise has to be guided by self-interest viewed in the broad perspective of overall national interest. A political party is expected to refrain from securing selfish or sectarian interests and temporary political and material gains. Next, active participation in politics. A political party is always actively involved in political process and at all level input, conversation and conversions and outputs, local, regional and national. It plays a special role in interest aggregation, which is the process of the conversion of demands into policy alternatives. Political parties plays a key and deterministic role in election and in the working of legislatures. Now, children, let's come on to the basis of organization of political party. On what basis these political parties work, children? So let's see now. The origin and evolution of political party is a universal phenomenon. In almost every society, political parties have been playing their due roles in their political system. In some political systems, several political parties are at work, whereas in other, only two are main and some smaller political party are at work. The questions that need answers are why and how the political party are born or organized in a society. What are the basis of their organization? In each society, several different factors provide basis for the organization of political party. So we can study these factors basis by grouping them in four categories. Let's see now. Psychological basis, historical basis, socioeconomic basis, and ideological basis, children. Rightist and leftist basis, children. Right? So let's see now what is the psychological basis. Right? Human nature is the first and foremost basis which gives birth to at least two type of political party: conservative party and liberal party. Some persons are by nature conservative, they do not go in for change but accept the change when it comes. Such persons often get organized into a political party, that the conservative party. There are other who are by nature liberal, pro-change and reformist. They also organize themselves as liberal or progressive or even radicalist, that a liberal party. Next, historical basis. In most of society, the emergence of political party has been the result of evolution of their political system from monarchical to democratic system. The gradual emergence of the right to vote and consequently of the modern electorate paved the way for emergence of political party as agencies attempting to capture power through the organized support of the electorate. The election system forced these agencies to organize themselves to field their respective candidate in election and to organize election campaign in favor of their candidate. Political group organization as such got transformed into separate political parties as the part of the process of meeting the necessity and opportunity created by historical revolution. These become mass organizations, started performing the functions of political socialization, recruitment and representation. These came forward to develop institutions of their own and to manage their affairs. Thus, the march of history naturally produces some political party. Like the birth of Indian National Congress took place due to history of the late 19th century, which created the need to fight British imperialism in India. And everyone knows, children, Indian National Congress was founded in the year 1885 by Alan Octavian Hume. Next basis is socio-economic basis. Religion, race, caste, region, economic interests and needs are also the basis for the organization of political party. These are collectively referred to as socio-economic basis. Political parties in several states are based on religious or racial affinity among the people. Political party like the Christian Democrat, the Akali Dal, the Muslim League and some others stand organized on religious or communal basis. Next, ideological basis. 20th century was the age of ideologies: Marxism, communism, socialism, guild socialism, feminism, fascism, Nazism, democratic socialism, capitalism, liberalism, welfarism, and some other emerged as popular ideology. These served as a basis for the organization of several political parties. In particular, communism, liberalism, and democratic socialist emerged as popular ideology, which provide basis for the formation of several political parties in almost every state. Today, in every state, several political parties, each based on a particular ideology, are mostly at work in the political process. Next, we have rightist and leftist political party. The political party are nowadays identified on the basis of their general attitude towards change, revolution, reform, tradition, and socio-economic issues. The party which are in favor of ending the existing system and injustices of the system through state action or otherwise are often identified as leftist party. These want radical changes in the society and politics. As against this, all those parties that stand for maintenance of the existing system with gradual incremental changes or may be absolutely necessary from time to time are called rightist party. Right, children? And in between these two extreme types are pro-left, pro-right, left of the center and centrist party. These parties which are favor immediate and big reform are identified as radical parties. Now let's come on to the function of political party, children. So the very first function is formulation of public opinion. The first and most important function of political party is to give coherence and meaning to the ideas, desires and ambition of the people and to clarify the public opinion, public will upon various issues and problems. Next, agencies of political education, socialization. Political party play a vitally important role as agencies of political education along with other agencies like family, school and mass media. The political party transmit the values and beliefs of the political system to the people. Third, leadership recruitment. Political parties are the essential and ideal channel for recruiting leaders in all political system. Democratic as well as totalitarian leaders emerge through political party. Party provide necessary leadership education and training to its members, some of whom emerge as leader. When the parties select and field their candidate, these really perform an important role as agencies of political recruitment. Next, interest articulation. Though interest articulation is mostly a function of the interest group, yet as the organized political structure working in the environment of the political system, political party always play an important role in interest articulation. These help the people to sort out, clarify and specify their claim into demands for lawmaking. Next, interest aggregation. Political parties are the main agency of interest aggregation. These are specialized aggregation structures of modern society. The articulated interests are aggregated into a set of policy proposal alternatives by the political party. These are then taken to the government for approval. Next, political modernization and development. Political party act as agency of political modernization development. This is particularly true of developing country. In such political system, political party give a particular shape to government and the policies pursued by it. These provide the major link between various social and economic groups. These consolidate the human emerges and resources into human power and use organized human power for securing modernization and development. Next, we have policy formulation. Political party always play a major role in policy formulation. These bring order of the chaotic mass of views and options by putting before the people their alternative policies and programs. These also try to secure popular consent on vital issues of policies. Party plan and contest elections they endeavor to win by taking up positions on policy matter and presenting them as choices between parties. Last now, link between the government and the people. Political party are crucially important links between the government and the people. These are the main channels of communication between the two. These are continuously engaged in this role. These are the vehicles which carry the needs and wishes of the people to the government and in turn are engaged in communicating the policy and decision of the government to the people. These use the means of mass media and their local unit to maintain active and continuous contacts with the local people and make them aware of their policies and programs. Through this function, the political parties try to secure and nurse their support bases and local organizations. These always try to educate, instruct and involve the people in the activity of political system. So this is we are coming to the end of the video, children. So pay attention to the video and clear your doubts. Till then, thank you.